Hello everyone, today we'll be talking about one of the most mysterious cryptids out there, the Mothman. Let's get to it. The Mothman legend began on November 12, 1966, near Clendenin, West Virginia, when 5 gravediggers saw a brown, winged humanoid rise silently from the trees. They swore it was no bird, but something far stranger. 3 nights later, Roger and Linda Scarberry encountered a creature near the abandoned World War II munitions site known as the TNT area. Among its decaying bunkers and dark tunnels, Linda spotted 2 glowing red eyes. Moments later, a 7-foot figure with massive wings unfolded itself and chased their car down the Highway 62, keeping pace at over 100 miles per hour. The terrified couple reported their encounter to Sheriff George Johnson. The story hit headlines the next day. It became the first major Mothman sighting. Over the next 13 months, more than 100 people claimed to see the creature. Its glowing eyes, immense speed, and the overwhelming fear it inspired. The TNT area, later declared an environmental disaster zone, became the center of these reports. Witnesses also spoke of strange men in black who warned them to stay silent. Then, on December 15th, 1967, tragedy struck. The Silver Bridge collapsed during rush hour, killing 46 people. After that night, the sightings stopped. Many believed that the Mothman had not come to harm, but to warn. Similar winged beings were later reported before other disasters: a mine collapse in Freiburg, the Chernobyl meltdown, 9/11. What is the Mothman? Descriptions of the creature vary, but the consensus is chilling. Bipedal, winged humanoid, about 7 feet tall, wingspan of 10 to 15 feet, red glowing eyes, often set deep in the chest with no visible head, able to fly at extraordinary speeds, often without flapping its wings. Witnesses often describe overwhelming feelings of dread, and many experience long-term psychological distress after encounters. Nightmares, anxiety, and breakdowns are common among those who've seen it up close. Experts and skeptics have offered various rational explanations for Mothman sightings, including misidentified birds like sandhill cranes or barn owls. Others compare it to similar cryptids like the Thunderbird and Owlman. Native American Shawnee lore references shape-shifting forest spirits such as the Missingwa and Waupi, while a local legend ties Mothman to a curse by Chief Cornstalk, murdered in 1777. Some theories suggest Mothman is a supernatural being, an angel, demon, or omen, rather than a physical creature. Whether a misunderstood animal, a supernatural guardian, or a shared hallucination in a time of fear, the Mothman remains one of the most haunting and enduring legends of American folklore. The entity known as the Mothman has long been part of the Beast archives. Reports and field notes dating back to the 1960s are scattered throughout the files, though most were quietly classified and hidden from public view. Sightings were once frequent enough to demand attention. In recent years, they have become startlingly rare, almost non-existent. My orders were to travel to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and determine if the creature still exists, or if it vanished. The area remains steeped in uneasy history. The ruins of the old TNT plant still crumble beneath the creeping vines. I've been stationed here for nearly a month, and not a single trace of the so-called Mothman. I've searched everywhere: the decaying concrete husks of the old TNT bunkers where it once rumored to nest, the long-abandoned mines just outside town, and even the remnants of the Silver Bridge, when it was last seen before the collapse. But there's been nothing. No sightings, no signs, not even so much as a strange footprint in the mud. The forest was silent, but then the smallest stroke of luck. Though I can't say I heard anything, it was more like I sensed it. A strange, resonating feeling. A deep, creeping dread. That's the best way I can describe it. It wasn't pleasant, but something about pulled me in. I followed the sensation, and just as suddenly as it came, it vanished. In that fleeting moment, I saw it, only for a second, a massive creature, dark as shadow, flying away at incredible speed. I didn't know what just happened, but whatever that black blur was, it had to be the Mothman. A few days had passed. I was supposed to abort the mission if it dragged on too long, and I already missed the deadline. Still, I sent a message to the agency. I had seen the creature, and I was determined to stay until I learned more. 8 days after my initial sighting, I finally got a clearer look at the thing. On a small cliff far from where I was hidden, I saw it, crouched low, almost motionless, peering down at a small clearing in the forest below. I couldn't yet tell what had caught its attention, but for the first time, I can make out some details of the creature itself. If it stood on its hind legs, though I wasn't sure yet if it even could, it would easily reach a staggering 7 feet in height. Despite its size, it was skinny, almost fragile looking. I guessed it couldn't weigh more than 150, 180 pounds, likely built with hollow bones like a bird. Its head was rounded, but from this distance, that's about all I could make out. As I started to creep closer, it suddenly dropped from the cliff with breathtaking speed. In a blink, it vanished into the underbrush, and just as quickly emerged again, its hind legs firmly grasping a struggling raccoon. It flew away with its prey, and I spent the next 3 days searching for it again. By that point, I was convinced these creatures were extremely rare. I had a hard time finding even one. Eventually, I spotted it again on a small cliff, likely the same one, and this time, I was finally close enough to see it clearly. It was clear by its body structure, right away, that this was some kind of late surviving pterosaur, with skin wings supported by a very large fourth finger. Proportional to the rest of the body, the legs were relatively short, but the wings were long and wide. Pycnofibers were present over some areas of the body, mostly around the neck and back. The only thing that stood out was a small and round head, unlike most pterosaurs, with one exception, the neuronathids, small pterosaurs believed to go extinct even before the KPG extinction. As I was thinking, what could Mothman actually be? It rose on its hind legs and spread its wings. He looked grandiose. I thought he was about to take flight, but instead, the creature opened its wide mouth full of thin, sharp teeth. As I expect a sound, I just felt the same vibrating sensation as before. I wasn't sure what was happening. For several minutes, the creature carried on, occasionally pausing to draw in deep breaths before continuing its strange behavior. When it finally finished, it lowered itself back into a quadrupedal stance and stood still for a while, motionless and silent. Then, without a sound, it turned and walked away into the den behind it. Maybe it was just by imagination, but to me, the creature seemed disappointed. After some thought, I believe I can offer a plausible explanation for the existence of such an animal today. As I've already stated, this creature closely resembles a neuronathids, just scaled up, with some differences in posture and specific anatomical features. While neuronathids are widely believed to have gone extinct, it's not entirely unreasonable to think that they might have survived the KPG extinction event. These pterosaurs were small, insectivores, capable of flight, and likely nocturnal, traits that would have significantly increased their chances of surviving the cataclysmic conditions that followed the asteroid impact. Their small size would have reduced their food requirements. Their ability to fly would have allowed them to cover large areas in search of sustenance. And although insect populations were certainly affected, enough may have persisted to support such adaptable predators. Additionally, their presumed nocturnal lifestyle could have been advantageous during the prolonged darkness caused by the global dust cloud that followed the impact. In conclusion, the survival of the neuronathid-like creatures into the modern era is not beyond the realm of possibility. While other pterosaurs perished, these resilient creatures endured. As the world recovered, this lineage thrived in Europe's warm Paleocene forests. But over millions of years, climate shifts, habitat loss, and competition from birds pushed them to migrate. Forest corridors connected Europe and North America during the Eocene via the North Atlantic Bridge, stretching through Greenland into now what is called Canada. Following the insect-rich woodlands, the neuronathids slowly spread westward, their range expanding with each generation. By the Oligocene, they had reached North America. Glaciation and rising sea levels later isolated them in secluded regions, but small populations persisted in deep temperate forests. In the Appalachian Mountains, particularly around what is now West Virginia, they found a perfect refuge. Dense forests and caves provided them perfect shelter. Over time, these creatures evolved. Their wings grew broader, their flight became quieter, their pycnofibers thickened into feather-like filaments for insulation and even camouflage. Their eyes grew enormous, glowing red at night due to a reflective layer adapted for low light. By the modern era, these reclusive descendant of neuronathids lived only in shadow. Rarely seen, always at night, they became the origin of the Mothman legend. That vibration sensation I felt, I think I understand it now. I had a theory. Maybe the Mothman wasn't drawn to disasters, but to the signals before them. Just before buildings or bridges collapse, they emit low frequency vibrations, deep groans between 10 to 60 hertz from steel stress and microfractures within them. Engineers use these as early warnings of structural failure. What if instead of being the cause of collapsing buildings, the creature senses these vibrations too, and for some reason is attracted to them? To test this, I requested the altered and enhanced version of the MB2000 microbarometer, a device capable of detecting infrasound, well below human hearing. Days later, it recorded something unusual, a rhythmic pulse around 19 hertz, seconds before I spotted the creature again. But the real breakthrough came later. I saw it again, standing still with its wings unfolded, mouth wide open. No sound, but I felt it, the same pressure in my chest. The machine confirmed it, sustained infrasound, steady and deliberate. That's when things hit me. This wasn't a warning, it wasn't echolocation. It was a call, most likely a mating call, one that may not have been answered in years. I recorded the entire event. The creature stood there for minutes, calling. Then it slowly turned, folded its wings, and vanished. Maybe I imagined the sadness in its movements, but I don't think so. I'm leaving Point Pleasant at first light. The recordings, field notes, and MB2000 data were secured and sent to the agency. Hope you guys liked this one. Let me know what you think about the Mothman theory down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos from the Beast series. We're less than 10 subscribers away from 1,000, so every sub really helps. Join the Discord server too, the link's in the description. And real quick before you click off, if you enjoyed the artwork featured in this video, you can support the channel by commissioning a piece from me. You can reach out on Discord, Instagram, or DeviantArt. Links are all in the description.